Hey there, math students. Thank you for tuning into another math video. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me shrink myself down so you can see. So we're going to be talking about combining integers today. And when we talk about combining integers, that just means adding or subtracting those integers. Let's go back to the definition of integer really quick. Integers are the positive and negative whole numbers, including 0. I think I kind of said that wrong on a video yesterday, and I'm so sorry, but shout out to Alexa for catching that. I love it when you guys keep me straight. It's awesome. Keep it up. If you hear me make a mistake, let me know. Let's do our warm-up. I want you to read over these things that I have covered up with my paper here and write your answers to them. And so go ahead and pause your video right now and do that for me now. Okay, did you pause your video? Did you get everything answered? Okay, let's talk through it. So the first one, if you have $10 and then your grandma gives you 5 more, how much are you going to have? You're going to have $15. Good job. If you had $7 but you owed your friend Cameron $9, how much would you have or owe? That's when you're going to owe $2. If you owed Sarah $3 but your mom gave you $8, aren't moms great? How much would you have? You would have $5. And if you owed your parents $50 for some Taylor Swift tickets and then they loaned you 10 more to get a calculator, how much would you have or owe? You would owe $60 there. How did you guys do on that? Good? Okay. Now, which is easier, adding and subtracting fractions or multiplying and dividing fractions? Kind of a random question. You can answer it your own way, but for me, I would much rather multiply or divide because you don't have to deal with those common denominators, and that is pretty nice. So let's go on down here. We're going to be talking about the same things we just did in the warm-up, but now we're going to kind of put them in math language. So for example A, again, you have $10 and your super sweet granny gives you $5 more. How are we going to write that in math? Okay, so if you have 10, that's positive 10. So let's just write 10. That means positive 10, right? And your granny gives you 5 more. So are we adding 4 or no. Are we adding 5 or subtracting 5? We're adding 5. Good. And now we can just solve it. 10 plus 5, you guys know this, 15. Now what if you have $7? That's positive 7 because you have it. And you owe your friend Cameron $9. So when you're owing money, that's like minus 9, right? And then you just have to solve that. 7 minus 9, same thing as up here. You're going to owe 2, which is going to be negative 2. If you owed Sarah $3, so is that positive or negative 3? Negative, good. So write your negative 3. Your mom gives you 8, so that's plus $8. So then at that point, you're going to have $5, so that's 5. Positive 5 because you have the $5 just like you did up here. And finally, those Taylor Swift tickets, you already owe your parents $50. So sorry guys, that's negative 50. Can you get Taylor Swift tickets for $50? I don't know. And then they loaned you $10 to get a calculator. Okay, that would be minus 10 because they're giving you more money, you owe them more. You combine those and you're going to get negative 60, just like we had right up there, right? Owing 60. All right, so let's talk about some rules for combining these numbers. Let's go over the rules real quick, and then I have a special surprise for you. No, really, I do. If the numbers have the same sign, so write the word same there, find the sum of the numbers, and then give the answer the same sign they both have. That's a lot of talking. Go ahead and write those words down. We're going to talk through this. Don't worry. If it just sounds like a bunch of words, don't worry about it. What does sum mean? Sum is when we're adding the numbers. Just a little review there. All right. If the numbers have different signs, then find the difference between the numbers. Over here it says difference means subtract. So that means we would subtract the numbers. And then give the answer the sign of the larger one. Okay. Like I said, we're going to talk through this. But before we talk through it, here's my special surprise. I'm going to sing y'all a song. It's our special sign song. Are you ready? I don't play guitar a whole lot, but let's see what happens here. Okay, this is like row, row, row your boat, so sing along if you want. Same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. Did you sing with me? Okay, well, I know some of you did. All right, so for me, it's easier with a song to remember the words. So let's just talk about like what the words mean. So same signs, that's when you have a positive plus a positive, or a negative plus a negative. Here, I'll write or there to kind of separate them. So same signs are positive plus positive or negative plus negative. When you have the same signs, you're going to add. And when it says keep, what they mean is you just keep the sign. So let's do an example. Positive 3 plus positive 2. You guys knew this in kindergarten. That's going to be 5. You notice both of those numbers are positive, and our answer is positive 2. So now let's do one with negative numbers. If you have two negative numbers, let's just do negative 3 minus 2 equals what? Again, we have the same signs. We have the negative here and the negative here. So we're going to add them together. 3 plus 2 is 5. And we're going to keep the sign that they have. They're negatives, so we're going to keep that negative sign. We'll do a few more examples of that later. Let's go ahead and talk about the next line. Different signs subtract. So that's when you have a positive and a negative, or a negative and a positive. Now this all kind of goes together. When you have different signs and you subtract, then you're going to keep the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. Let's see how that works. So what if we have positive 9 minus 6? Okay, so we have different signs here. As you know, there's no sign here in front of that 9, so it's positive. The 6 is negative. So 9 minus 6 is 3. Did you know that in kindergarten? I don't know, maybe first grade? You definitely know it now. And so we just subtracted because there are different signs. Now we go to our next line. Keep the sign of the larger number. So which one's bigger? The 9 is the bigger number, so we're going to keep the positive that is on that 9. So that means it's positive 3, which you already knew, but we're just talking through it with these rules. Now let's flip those signs and see how it works. What if we have negative 9 plus 6 equals? Okay, so still we have different signs, so we're still going to subtract. 9 minus 6 is still 3. But now the keep the sign of the larger number part, well, 9 is bigger than 6, and its sign is negative, so that means it's going to be a negative 3. So you can kind of see how that works. Like I said, we're going to do a few more examples. If you get it right now, then awesome, fantastic. I'm just going to kind of keep this in the screen and do some examples. Actually, I'll let you see this, because some of you may like this better and some of you may like this better. Okay. So example 2a, combine the integers. We have negative 6 minus 4. Are those same signs or different signs? They are the same signs, so we're going to add. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Now, after we add, we keep the sign. So the signs were negative, so we better make that a negative 10. And that is our answer. Let's do the next one. Negative 8 plus 10. Same signs or different? Different. Good job. So different signs, you're going to subtract them. So subtract whichever order you want. I like to do the bigger number minus the smaller number, so 10 minus 8 for me is easier. That's going to give us 2. Now don't forget the next line. Keep the sign of the larger number. What's bigger, 8 or 10? 10 is bigger. What is the sign on that 10? A positive. So this is a positive 2, so I'm just going to write nothing there, and we're done. Let's look at example C, 4 minus 12. Same signs or different signs? Different. Good. We have positive 4 and negative 12. So we're going to subtract. You can say 4 minus 12 if you want. I like to say 12 minus... Did I say that weird? I like to say 12 minus 4. I know that that's 8. Now look, and we have to keep the sign of that larger number. The larger number is 12, so we're going to put that sign onto the answer there for a -8. And 2 plus 7, you guys know that's 9, but just using the rules from the song, same signs, add and keep. They're both positive, you keep it positive. Okay, now we're going to look at the same exact concept with just a different explanation. We're going to use number lines. I love this because it's really visual. So if you like visual stuff, stick with me. If you want to just fast forward to the end, you could do that too. At the end, we're going to go over when you combine 3 numbers instead of just 2 numbers, so don't miss that. First, let's take a look at these number lines though. So let's put -6 on our number line. There's our teeny tiny 0. Go all the way over here to -6. Okay, and now if we're going to subtract 4, well, remember, this is our negative direction, and this is our positive direction. So if we have a -4 or a subtract 4, then we need to go over 4 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bingo. This is our answer, -10. I really like thinking about it this way. It's really visual. Okay, so let's do the next one, -8. Let's start there. This is our -8. Hopefully you can see, you may not be able to see that in the video, but it's there, -8. If you're making your own notes at home, you might want to pause the video and make your own number line. That might be helpful. Now it says +10, so which way are we going to go? That way or that way? Yes, this way. This is our positive direction, so let's go 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bingo, our answer is 2. So go ahead and fill those other 2 out if you want to, but I'm not going to take your time and do it right this second. What I'm going to do is go on to the next page and talk about some other stuff. So flip to the second page of notes. It should look like this. Okay. Now what do we do if there is more than one sign in front of a number? Like this. You've got all these signs here. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's what we do. We're going to follow the same rules as multiplication. So you remember from yesterday. You remember, right? So if we had plus plus or minus minus, it would be a plus. Whereas if we had plus minus or minus plus, that became a negative. So that's what we're going to use right here. So don't look at the sign by itself. Look at the place where you have 2 in a row. We have a plus and we have a minus. So where do we find that? Look, plus minus, that means it's going to be negative. So let's rewrite our problem. -10 stays the same. This whole business just becomes a negative sign, and then we have 12. All right, let's do another one. And then you would solve it from there. So same signs, add and keep. What's 10 plus 12? You got 22. Don't forget the keep part, which means you keep the sign. It's negative. And boom, you're done. Let's look at the next one. So we have a positive and another positive. As you might guess, that means we're going to add or keep it positive. So rewrite it with only one sign here. And then there's your 10. And then you're going to go ahead and solve that. That's going to give you 5. Let's look at this one. I kind of scribbled a little over it, but you see you have a negative and a positive, like this. So these 2 signs combined together are going to give you that. I want you to rewrite it. This rewriting is really important. You've got to show your work so that I can kind of see what's going on in your head, and believe me, it will just help you so much later. As you go through math and things start to get more complicated, this stuff, it really pays off. So 8 minus 15, same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. We've got different signs there, so we're going to subtract, which gives you 7. Keep the sign of the larger number, boom, and then you'll be exact. We have one more. What if you have a negative or a subtract, minus, whatever you want to call it, and then another negative? Those 2 are going to turn into a positive. I kind of have fun taking them and just connecting them together and making them to a big plus, but you can also just rewrite them down here. And as you know, that's going to give us 10. Okay. We're going to skip over these. These would be great for you to do if you want. We're going to skip them for now. I don't want my video to get too long. This is just reminding us of the rules This is my favorite way to do it. So say it with me, guys. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. Okay, don't tune out just yet. We still need to talk about what I was promising a second ago, and that's when you have 3 in a row. So give me a few more seconds and we're going to talk about that. Do you remember from yesterday, we multiplied 3 in a row? We took the first 2 first, solved that out, and then added the last number in. That's what we're going to do again here. So I'm just going to cover this up. Well, look at that. We only have 2 numbers now. Isn't that nice? So these are going to become negative 16, because negative 14 plus negative 2, that's the same thing as negative 14 minus 2. That gives us 16. Now that you have that, you can sort of add this to it. So minus negative 9. Now we have those 2 signs in a row. Let's make them into one sign. So negative negative is going to give us positive. So you have negative 16 plus 9. And when you do the math on that, that is going to give you negative 7. Good job, guys. Oh, my phone's ringing. Let me make it be quiet real quick. Okay. Now the other 2 problems, let's just do one more. Let's take this one. It's the same exact process though. We're going to combine the negative 5 and the negative 12. First of all, this plus and this minus needs to be simplified. So we have negative 5 minus 12. Those 2 together are going to give us negative 17. Once you have that done, go ahead and work on bringing this one down. So plus a negative 6, you know that a plus and a minus just gives us a minus. So that's going to become negative 6 or minus 6. And when you solve that, you get negative 23. Okay, let's look at the homework for 1 second. We're not going to solve any. I'm just going to show you what problems you need to do. So on this first page, we've got 2 different pages here, and I don't want to give you a ton of problems. So on the first page, please do 1 through 14. You can scribble out the bottom ones. On the second page, it's kind of the opposite. I want you to skip 1 through 14. So on the second page, you're just doing 15 through 20. And that's where you get all the practice doing the 3 numbers in a row. I will write that on your assignment page in Canvas also, so you can see it. And thanks so much for watching. Bye, you guys.